Commander Rain Carter had seen many strange things in his years as a deep space salvage officer, but nothing quite prepared him for the day he found her. She wasn't listed in the distress beacon's manifest. The wrecked ship had been orbiting the dead moon of Loris 7, hull cracked like an eggshell, air long since vented to the void. Carter had boarded expecting corpses or, at best, salvageable tech. Instead, in a dim cryopod barely powered, he found her curled up, breathing faintly, her violet skin luminescent in the emergency lighting. When she awoke, her amber eyes flickered open slowly, adjusting to the light. She looked up at him, then flinched, retracting into the corner of the medbay like a spooked animal. "I won't hurt you," Carter said gently. Her voice was scratchy from disuse, but her words were clear. "You are human." "Yeah," he said, sitting back. "Name's Carter, Rain Carter. You got a name?" After a long pause, she whispered, "Sienna." Over the next few days, Carter learned a little more about her. Sienna was a Zelari, a bioengineered species bred for psychic sensitivity and interstellar navigation. Her ship had been a slaver's vessel, one that smuggled psi-capable beings. Sienna had escaped a fate worse than death, but not without scars visible and otherwise. She followed him around the ship like a cautious cat, never too far, but never too close. She watched how he ate, how he worked, how he talked to his ship's AI. He offered her clothes, food, comfort, but she rarely accepted, more than she absolutely needed. Then came the moment. Carter had collapsed in the pilot's chair after a long day rewiring the engine couplings. The lights were dimmed, the hum of the ship steady and low. He barely noticed her entering the bridge until she stood beside him. "You keep looking at me like I'm a rescued animal," she said, voice tight. Carter blinked. "I didn't mean to. I'm not your pet," she snapped, stepping closer, her arms crossed over her small frame. "I never said you were," Carter replied calmly. "But I did save your life. That counts for something, doesn't it?" She stared at him, conflict warring in her golden eyes. Then, with a deep breath that shuddered through her chest, she whispered, "I don't know how to be. Not anymore." The silence hung between them. And then, slowly, Sienna stepped forward, climbed onto the armrest of his chair, and curled up into his lap. Her skin was warm, and she trembled as she tucked herself into a ball, tail looping around her legs. "I'm not your pet," she murmured again, this time softer. Carter placed a careful hand on her back, not stroking, not claiming just there. "No," he said. "You're not." Days turned into weeks. Sienna slowly opened up. She didn't just follow Carter anymore, she helped him. Her psychic abilities let her interface directly with the ship's damaged systems, accelerating repairs. She even began speaking with the AI, teaching it Zelari phrases, and to Carter's amusement, sarcastic comebacks in 3 languages. But not everything outside the ship was friendly. A patrol galactic compact ships intercepted them as they passed through Sector Epsilon 9. One look at Sienna and alarms blared. The Zelari were a restricted species classified as too dangerous, too unstable. Their very biology frightened the powers that be. "They'll cage me," Sienna said, eyes wide, "or dissect me." "They'll have to go through me," Carter growled, standing between her and the screen. He refused to hand her over. That night, the compact sent a boarding party. They didn't expect Sienna's power. She didn't fight with fists or guns. She stood in the center of the hallway, eyes glowing gold, and spoke into the minds of the invaders. She showed them what had been done to her kind, the labs. The collars? The pain. One officer dropped his weapon and vomited. Another began to sob. A third shot himself in the foot to stay grounded in the moment. By the time they retreated, Carter's ship was marked as hostile. He didn't care. That night, as he sealed off the blast doors and patched the damage, he found her curled again in his chair, hugging her knees. "I didn't want to do that," she said, voice small. "I know," Carter replied. "But you protected us." She nodded. Like you protected me, he smiled. Guess we're even now. She looked up at him, eyes glowing faintly in the low light. Not yet, she said, and reached for his hand. Months later, when their ship landed quietly on the unregulated world of Norvis III, a haven for outcasts and exiles, Sienna stepped off the ramp with her hand in his. She wasn't a pet. She wasn't a weapon. She wasn't property. She was Sienna free, fierce, and finally home. And beside her, the human who never tried to own her, just saw her, and that had made all the difference.